In everyday life, of course, we must have experienced a problem. In this video, we will learn about Stoic philosophy so that we can remain calm in various problems. Watch the video carefully.
Do you ever feel like life is a whirlwind? Days filled with endless tasks, yet no real progress. It's exhausting, like running on a treadmill, leaving you wondering, is this all there is? Most of us live reactively, chasing urgency and distractions, but the Stoics remind us that life's true measure isn't busyness, it's intention. Habits are the foundation of intentional living, shaping who we become. As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. The habits we'll explore today are a roadmap, not quick fixes, but tools to align your actions with your values. Whether you're starting fresh or stuck in the grind, these habits can help you reclaim your power, live purposefully, and discover the life you've been searching for. Let's begin. Habit 1. Be proactive. Have you ever noticed how much we blame the world around us when things go wrong? The weather ruins our plans, a rude coworker puts us in a bad mood, or unexpected traffic makes us late. And somehow, it feels like the universe is conspiring against us. But here's a question worth pondering. What if the problem isn't out there, but within us? What if, as the Stoics believed, our real power lies not in controlling what happens to us, but in how we respond to it? This idea of reclaiming control over our reactions is at the heart of being proactive. Life will throw curveballs, delays, disappointments, difficult people. But here's the thing. None of these have the power to derail you unless you let them. And that's what being proactive is all about. It's about realizing that, while you can't control the events of the world, you are the master of your mind, your emotions, and your actions. Let's break this down with something we all encounter daily: other people's behavior. Imagine you're in line for coffee and someone cuts in front of you. Instantly, your blood starts to boil. You're thinking, who does this person think they are? Now, at this moment, you have a choice. You can let that frustration take over, ruining not just your coffee run, but your whole morning. Or you can pause, take a breath, and remind yourself, this is not worth my peace of mind. That moment of pause is where the magic happens. The Stoics called it the space between stimulus and response, and it's where our power to choose lies. Let's take this a step further. Being proactive isn't just about managing your reactions, it's about taking initiative. Highly effective people don't sit around waiting for life to happen to them. They create opportunities. Think of it like being the captain of a ship. The seas might be rough, but a proactive captain adjusts the sails and keeps moving forward. In contrast, a reactive person simply complains about the weather and lets the waves toss them around. The difference? One focuses on what they can control, while the other fixates on what they can't. So how do you practice being proactive? Start small. The next time something doesn't go your way, a late bus, a snarky comment, an unexpected expense, pause. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? More often than not, the answer is no. Redirect your focus to what you can control. Can you plan your schedule differently? Can you communicate more clearly? Can you shift your mindset to see the challenge as an opportunity? And don't forget to prepare. A proactive life isn't built on winging it. It's built on intentionality. Start your mornings by setting an intention for the day. Think of it as laying the foundation for how you'll respond to whatever comes your way. Reflect on the Stoic idea of the dichotomy of control. Focus on what's within your power, your thoughts, actions, and attitudes, and let go of what isn't. Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. Have you ever felt like you're constantly busy, but not really sure if you're doing the right things? Like you're checking off tasks, running errands, and meeting deadlines, but somewhere deep down, you're wondering, what's the point? It's so easy to get caught up in the hustle of life that we forget to step back and ask ourselves, where am I actually going? The Stoics had a word for this: telos, your ultimate purpose, the reason behind the things you do. They believed that without a clear sense of direction, Even the busiest person can waste their life chasing the wrong things. This brings us to the idea of beginning with the end in mind. Imagine life as a journey. If you don't know your destination, how will you know which roads to take? It's like setting out on a hike without knowing where the trail ends. You might wander around, see some interesting sights, but you'll never feel the satisfaction of reaching a peak or seeing the view you came for. The same applies to life. Without a clear vision of what you're aiming for, it's easy to spend your days chasing distractions instead of building the life you truly want. When you start with the end in mind, everything changes. Decisions that once felt overwhelming become clearer. Should you take that new job? Should you invest your time in a particular relationship? Should you buy that flashy car? Instead of making choices based on what's popular or easy, you align them with your ultimate vision. And let me tell you, this alignment is where real power lies. Epictetus put it perfectly. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. But how do you figure out what your end looks like? Start by asking yourself some deep questions. What are your core values? What kind of legacy do you want to leave? Who are the people you want to grow alongside? These aren't questions you answer in 5 minutes. They take reflection, journaling, and maybe even a few long walks to really sink in. But once you start exploring them, you'll notice a shift. Your priorities will begin to align with your purpose, and your actions will feel more intentional. One of the most powerful tools to help you stay focused on your vision is creating a personal mission statement. Think of it as a compass, a short, clear declaration of what you stand for and where you're headed. It could be as simple as, I live to grow, to serve others, and to find joy in the small moments. Or it could be more detailed, outlining your goals for your career, relationships, and personal growth. The point isn't to write something perfect, it's to create a guide that helps you stay on course when life inevitably throws you off track. Living with the end in mind also helps you say no to things that don't serve your purpose. We're constantly bombarded with opportunities, requests, and distractions. Without a clear vision, it's tempting to say yes to everything, fearing we'll miss out. But when you know what you're working toward, it becomes easier to recognize what's a distraction versus what's essential. As Seneca wisely said, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Habit 3. Put first things first. Have you ever felt like your to-do list is running your life? You wake up, glance at all the things you need to do, and immediately feel overwhelmed. So you start tackling the easiest tasks first, just to feel like you're making progress. But by the end of the day, you realize you've been busy, so busy, but you didn't get to the stuff that really matters. Sound familiar? You're not alone. Most of us are living in survival mode, putting out fires and handling whatever feels most urgent. But here's the problem: urgency often crowds out importance. This is where the habit of putting first things first comes in. Think of your life like a jar. The important things, your health, your relationships, your personal growth, are the big rocks. The less critical stuff like emails, errands, and social media is the sand. If you fill your jar with sand first, there's no room for the rocks. But if you put the rocks in first, the sand can fill the gaps. The big rocks need to come first, every single time. The Stoics understood this intuitively. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." So, how do you decide what your big rocks are? Start by identifying your priorities. What are the things that, if you focused on them, would bring the most value to your life? Maybe it's spending quality time with your family, working on a passion project, or taking care of your physical health. Once you know your priorities, the next step is protecting your time like it's sacred, because it is. No one else is going to prioritize your life for you. If you don't make time for what matters, the world will fill your days with distractions. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: distractions. We live in a world that thrives on them. Notifications, endless emails, and the temptation to scroll through social media can eat up hours before you even realize it. The Stoics would see these distractions as a form of proheresis, losing control over your ability to choose wisely. To them, the key was focusing only on what aligns with your higher purpose. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." That means choosing to focus on what you can control, your actions and your time, and letting go of everything else. And here's the thing, putting first things first requires saying no, a lot. No to extra obligations, no to interruptions, no to things that don't align with your priorities. It's not easy, but it's liberating. When you say no to what doesn't matter, you create space for what does. Remember, every yes is a no to something else. Seneca put it perfectly. He who is everywhere is nowhere. Don't forget to schedule downtime. Rest isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. The Stoics understood this too. They believed in balance and the importance of recharging so you could face life with clarity and strength. As you plan your priorities, make sure to include moments of reflection, relaxation, and renewal. These aren't wasted time. They're what allow you to keep showing up for the things that matter. Habit 4. Think win-win. Let me ask you something. When you approach a negotiation, a disagreement, or even just a casual conversation, what's your mindset? Are you aiming to win at all costs to get the upper hand? It's tempting, isn't it? After all, we're taught from a young age to compete, to come out on top. But here's the thing. When one person wins and the other loses, what's left behind? Frustration, resentment, and most often, missed opportunities for real connection.